Hey fellow pirates, Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to X4 Foundation's Rogue Pirate. Episode 7, Making Contact with Hatikvah. Right at the start of the stream, as you can see, I'm going to be picking the priority. But before I start, I wanted to mention I'm going to take a bit of a tactical shift. Basically, I have spent the past week logging a lot of hours in the Diplomacy and Envoy update, and learned that I don't want to fight against the system. So what that means is that in order to make Envoy and Diplomacy work well with one another, I really ought to be harassing skill plate ships. One of the advantages of the skill plate ships is their reputation is essentially locked until you do a massive mission, which potentially has you allied with them, which is so far down the line that it's not even worth mentioning. So what I'm going to be doing instead is using my piracy skills to plunder Skillplate, because they honestly deserve it. They're jerks. They constantly try to pirate your own, and exerting our influence around the galaxy. And you'll see what that means soon once we have an embassy up and running and a spy regime up and running. So what I wanted to do right off the start is work on unlocking spies by doing the Hatikvah plot. Because you basically need to do the Hatikvah plotline to unlock Dal, who is essentially your spy master. And I didn't know that until after last stream. But now that I know that, we ought to get that done. Alright, let's see here. I've got, in terms of ships, the Nemesis Vanguard and the Envoy, and both of which need names. So let's go ahead and kick off a raffle for said names. And I am going to teleport over to the Nemesis and treat that as my primary ship for the duration of the dock and wait. For the duration of the Hatikvah plot. So there's some other things I wanted to do in the meantime as well. One is, now that we have, let me back up a little bit. We did start with the player HQ. Property owned. Here's the player HQ. And we are in the process of adding a container storage to it. Once we have a container storage to it, we can open up the ability to do a lot more things. But you can't store materials in your container or in your player HQ for research until you actually have a container to do it. So we're also in the process of getting a container going. To that end, am I on my what ship am I on?
Docking granted. Docking aborted.
I'm on my Envoy? Okay.
Envoy.
With that said, I think what I'm going to do is set my Envoy up as a trade procurement ship for the player HQ for now. Because I don't really need it. So as far as I'm concerned, the Envoy has a really good travel speed, but it lacks in other areas. One primary area it lacks in is its weapons destroy things, but they don't. It's not a lot of punch. It also looks like I need to hire a captain for it. So before I do anything with it, we're gonna need a captain. That's fine. So let's put it into internal storage so that the Nemesis can actually park here, because otherwise the Nemesis is sort of stuck hovering around. So the other thing we did was we do have Big Brody, and Big Brody is a trade ship working on the building of our station, which is great.
Administration would like to remind you to keep children away from the airlocks.
Big Brody also has 20 Marines, so if you find a target to target, Big Brody would be a really good ship to use for its boarding party. Alright, and here comes the Nemi. Oh, It's all fences. Come on, fences. How do I get... Oh, it's because it's landing. Yeah. Come on. Retract. There we go. All right.
Nemesis. Vanguard.
So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell the captain of this Nemesis to basically go work at the Envoy.
Can I help?
So work somewhere else for me. My Envoy as its captain.
Affirmative.
Because I'm going to be using the Nemesis, so he can use the Envoy. And to that end, I plan on having the Envoy treated as also a ship to be trading. It doesn't have a lot of cargo space, but it's better than nothing. So let's see. Storage module. So the Envoy, I want to be trading for build storage. There, done. All right. So in order to start the Hatikvah plot, we need to head towards Hatikvah space. So I'm going to head here.
Autopilot. Engaged.
The other thing I wanted to do, actually, before I do that,
Disengaged.
is upgrade the Nemesis here. Because one of the constraints that I'm going to end up having is just travel speed. One of the advantages of the Envoy is its travel drives were like super fast, but the Nemesis's travel drives are not that fast. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to change to a travel drive so that I can more rapidly get from point A to point B, because I am more concerned about the travel time for you viewers than I am like the combat capabilities of the ship. Speaking of which, I have a bunch of like Mark 1 bolt repeaters and Mark 1 turrets. So it's not like this ship couldn't be also upgraded, but I think it's going to be more important for us to kick off the Hatikvah plot and earning the trust of Dalbusta more than anything else. So that's my top priority. And Figface, Maxu, thank you for the resubs. All right, the name of the Nemesis. Let's choose a winner. It's going to be the Krieg. That works. And then the name of the Envoy is going to be the Emmy. It's an interesting name, but it works for me. Perfect. All right, in terms of the HQ, we have got all of the energy cells and like a little over a fourth of the hull plates being delivered by Brody and Emmy. So we're going to have internal storage modules added pretty soon. And once the internal storage modules are added, then I can start working down the research tree. The research that is not constricted to internal storage is the basic weapon tuning. So let me talk about this real quick. When you're at a wharf or a shipyard, you are able to go and upgrade your weapons with like
a number of particle regulators, so I can better test weapon components in a controlled environment.
That's not what I want you to do.
There are certain requirements for me to start that research. It appears some Terran I will need some materials to get started.
Okay, so as you can see, I queued up teleportation research, and it kicked off a secondary quest. And the secondary quest is to increase the storage levels of the player HQ because it physically doesn't have the storage for the things we need for teleportation research, which is exactly why I'm building the storage yard. But yeah, to answer your questions, the basic ship tuning allows you to modify your ship to like overtune it. And generally what that means is like, you can do more weapon damage, but have your weapons cool down worse. You can like have more top speed, but your maneuver ability goes down. And there's a whole bunch of different mods to be added like that. And that's the only thing that isn't required, that isn't restricted by storage space. So we're just gonna head over to the, ooh, you know what? Actually, what is the fastest travel drive? Travel speed. Paranid. Travel drive is the fastest. All right, so scratch that. We are going to head over to the Paranid Wharf.
Autopilot engaged.
Because its travel drive is faster than all the others. Luckily, we're still going in the right direction, so it didn't really matter. So once we have the travel drive, we'll head over to Hatikvah space, and what that means is we're going to be joining the Hatikvah trade revolution. Fortunately, they also happen to be sort of freebooters. They're pirates in their own way. So I'm going to accept this.
Autopilot disengaged.
But I don't want to...
Autopilot engaged.
Oh, go to it.
Autopilot
And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do
disengaged.
some manual flying here, because manual flying with flight assistance turned off allows you to like drift and go faster. So I'll get that going as well. I'd love to incorporate your feedback if polling comes back online, so I'll just periodically check it to make sure it as soon as it is back, I make use of that. Alright. Just a few jumps away from the Paranid Wharf.
Entering system.
And I don't
Memory
think I need to
of
use the
profit.
advanced drifting for getting there, because it's pretty much straightforward. The advanced drifting would be turning off flight assist, where like you can change your heading and then your travel drive spins up for that new trajectory, allowing you to like power drift, like Tokyo drift, through sectors, and it's faster generally than autopilot as long as you're doing it manually, which can be really helpful when you have far distance travel times. So as far as my relationships with other factions go, we are friends of the Paranid because I worked my way up so that I could afford a nemesis and earn a nemesis. But as far as the other factions go, only the Alliance of the Word, which is like an alliance between a bunch of factions to bring stability about the gate shutdown, like cares for us. What I'm planning on doing is not necessarily trying to make an enemy of the other factions, but rather be a power broker by using our influence through the Envoy DLC to destabilize strong powers, empower pirates, and position ourselves as like a premier power broker
Entering system. Right promise.
in a way. So that's still the goal. And I will absolutely be doing piracy. One of the things I'm hoping to do is take the proceeds from helping the Hatikvah Trade League and rolling it into another boarding ship, and also advanced satellites to then deploy a satellite network to look for skill plate juicy targets, and then to have 2 turn vanguards, which is what Big Brody is. I believe it's a turn vanguard. Yeah, 2 turn vanguards in order to help me with boarding. Let's see. Of all of the ships that exist, which medium-sized ships have the biggest crew? Turn Vanguard. Because the other ones that have more crew require DLCs that I don't have. Cool. That's what I thought.
Entering system. Trinity Sanctum.
Now, of course, there are large ships that I could potentially try to buy, but most of them are going to be outside my price point for a good long while. Or alternatively... Oh, I meant to leave the highway there. Or alternatively, if they're not outside my price point, they are outside my reputation,
Entering system.
which
Trinity Sanctum.
is another thing.
Autopilot. Autopilot. Engaged.
All right, off to the wharf. Is it worth playing all the DLCs if you got them? Sure. Yeah, I don't really see a reason why not. You might get a little inundated with like side plots and quests and the like, but you know, oh well. So Argon does sell a large freighter. that I might save up for. The Inkarakurata, whatever, which has a crew of 208. So that could be another thing that we try to earn. It's gonna cost us like 5 mil or something.
Tyranid War.
I think still, regardless, trying to earn a turn
Docking granted.
rather than save up for a large ship makes more sense. And a lot of those large ships are also really unwieldy, so they're going to be really slow in responding to boarding efforts.
Successfully docked.
So, I've got Combat Engine 1, and I was hoping to get Travel 3s. So, as you can see, the travel speed here, I know it's in tiny text, but it's 2598. And with the travel drive, it's 5428. Which is just going to be a lot more tolerable for long distance travel. Yes, it like completely whittles down my my budget, you know, because I'm spending a lot of money, but I think that ultimately is fine. I wouldn't mind better thrusters at some point. We've got tier 2 shields, tier 1 weapons, which really won't cut it in big combat situations. But again, I'm on a budget, so like that's what we can afford. The other thing I was actually thinking about doing is buying some advanced satellites. But maybe I'll do that once I think that we are going to make more of an effort to do piracy. The advantage of the advanced satellites is it will give you notice when certain targets that you want to raid are within a certain region. Okay, so now that we have the tier 3 travel drive, we'll be able to buzz around at literally twice the speed, which is pretty awesome.
Autopilot.
And that's also going to help us chase down potential raid targets too. Because a lot of the times when I'm going to raid someone,
Phoenix, E.
they're going to be fleeing from me. So being able to like run them
Albatross
down is
entering
actually very,
system.
very helpful
Right
for boarding.
promise.
Because if I'm like attacking trade freighters, they're not going to like stand and fight. They're going to flee from me. And if their travel drives are faster than mine, they're going to outrun me.
Entering system.
So being
Rocket
able
Center
to
Alpha.
intercept them with my travel drives is actually a bit of a like a piracy move. But the way to look for pirates, if you're wondering, is if you open up object list and go to like ships and then zoom in on a certain sector, you can see all the ships in that sector and whether or not it makes sense to like raid them. And we're looking for something like this. That would be a very juicy target. The
Entering
Talati
system.
Plunderer Behemoth
Silent
E
witness.
is not actually a Talati-owned ship. It is a scale plate ship masquerading as a Talati ship. Any ship with Plunderer, Pillager, Marauder in it is actually really just a pirate ship. So, like, if I was in a position to board this thing would be a lot of money
Entering
to board.
system.
I just don't
Hatikvah's
have the
choice.
boarding crew for a target quite that juicy, because they probably have, like, 50 crew, and I have 20 Marines, so it's not going to be enough. I would just be sacrificing a bunch of Marines needlessly, or having to, like, attack in multiple waves, and that takes way too long. So I'm only going to be really taking boarding targets on that I think I stand to win. Alright, so now here we are in Hatikvah space. We're going to do the set active
Autopilot.
and go talk to
Engaged.
Reen Amara, who is the leader of the League. I don't have any Marines on this ship, right? I don't think I bought any. Crew, none. Yeah, I did.
Autopilot disengaged.
All right. So this kicks off the Hatikvah League
Docking
quest
granted.
line, and more importantly, introduces us to a important person, which becomes instrumental in like most of the things we do, much the way that Bozo Ta is as well.
Nemesis. Vanguard.
Come on. Getting down so quickly that the doors aren't even open. And we're gonna go to... Actually, first I'm gonna go to the trader's quarters. I'm sort of curious what I have stuff on me. Okay, it looks like I put away almost everything that I had on me, which is probably for the best because
Here you go.
I don't really want to be caught with illegal wares. That would be a problem. That would cause a bit of an issue. And I can also sell the flux capacitor and the programmable field array, bringing our money back up to about a half a mil. Okay, Reen.
Please come in.
Ah, this must be the new recruit.
This is Dalbasta. He's been helping us in our efforts to expand our business.
That's one way of putting it.
As you may have heard, a Hatikvah freighter was destroyed earlier today. It seems that the Scale Plate Pact don't like the idea of us going clean.
Unfortunately, this is what happens when you act on bad intel.
That's something we're looking to improve on. If you're willing, I'd like you to help us. Our goal is to break all ties with Scale Plate, while making sure they don't continue harassing us.
Easier said than done, but with the right preparation, I'll have them eating out of your hand. I'll be on my ship. I look forward to working with you.
He's nothing if not confident.
So, for a little bit of game lore, Hatikvah League is a very minor faction that is looking to go sort of independent, but there's a lot of other factions not happy about that, necessarily, and this is what this questline is all about.
So, what do you say?
You deal with Scale Plate?
Hatikvah have not had it easy in the years gone by. We traded with whoever was willing. They were chaotic times, and Scale Plate gave us an opportunity to grow. The Argons simply offer better trade and security prospects than Scale Plate ever could.
Who's Dalbasta?
I've known Dal for several years now. He's a very cunning and skilled analyst. When I was tasked to expand our trade operations, get closer to the Argon, I knew I needed him on board. Unfortunately, the Scale Plate Pact have proven to be rather erratic.
I'm in.
Glad to hear it. I'll let Dal know. Just follow his instructions and you'll be fine. Why don't you go chase Dal down? I'm sure he'd want to show off his ship.
Oh, I think my ship is bigger. And who are you?
Hello. Goodbye.
Just a random crew woman. Okay. Got it. Let's go talk to Dal before he leaves the area. Damn, dude. You already boarded your own ship.
Ah, Captain, welcome aboard my ship. She's a beauty, isn't she? She's equipped with the best surveillance and computing technology around, and you couldn't ask for a better crew. Handpicked them myself. So, what can I do for you?
Where can I help?
Eager to get started. How about we give you a nice, simple task to begin with? We need more information regarding Scale Plate supply lines and distribution methods. Anything to help us in predicting their movements and behavior. It's also something the local law enforcement would be interested in knowing. You'll be acquiring that data from one of their stations. For that, you'll need a computer worm to confuse their security protocols. Lucky for you, we can have one prepared in no time. You'll need a nimble ship, perhaps a scout. Just in case you need to get out of there quick. We'll send you the worm program when it's ready.
Okay. Heading back to my ship.
We've uploaded the worm to your ship database. Don't worry, it won't do anything to your systems.
Golden Icon, thank you for the sub.
Organ trading station.
The safest method of delivery is through an external vulnerability. You can usually find some on poorly maintained stations. We leave it up to you which station to target. Just let the program do its thing.
Alright, so what I'm doing is I'm trying to look for a scale plate, station. And where is the closest scale? I know where some are. Like, there's one right here. So I could go there. And I know in Nopilios there's a whole bunch of scale plate, but that's kind of far away. Maybe I'll fly to Black Hole Sun. I'm trying to think of if there's any others closer. But we can go with just like known knowledge. And now that we have the travel drives, traveling long distances will take half the time that it did before, which is a pretty strong benefit, I would say. Plus, this is mostly like superhighway all the way there. So, we are currently doing uploading a worm to a data leak. And I've been like looking for the data leaks wrong, so this is also a good opportunity to be like, hey, you should look for the data leaks this way. And we'll get into that in just a moment. How is our station going? I'm going to accept the higher estimate, in fact, allocate even more money for teleportation. And then as far as building our station goes, we are done? Yeah, we're done. We have the Argon S storage container now attached, which means that the mission to expand our storage is probably gone. Yep, it's gone. Nice. That also means that we are now going to be purchasing advanced electronics and energy cells to get teleportation 1 researched, which is fantastic. And I'm assuming that Big Brody and... Oh, let's tell them now to trade, not for build storage, but for regular. Because what they were doing is they were working on trading for building, but that's not what I want them to do anymore. I want them just to trade for the station's requirements. So, done. Also, the cargo drones are internally manufactured, but the cargo drone parts will be delivered, and as a result, we'll end up with cargo drones as well, which will be helpful. Ooh, look at that speed! Oh, baby. 54.28. I got the zoomies. So now that I have 2 ships trading for buying the things we need for... Oh, station account. Let's keep topping this up. I'm just going to put more money in than it even needs. Now that I have 2 ships trading for the things we need, it should be relatively easy to get research really moving. All the research, but the stuff I have to do myself, which is all the basic ship mod stuff.
Black Hole Sun 5.
Alright, so we're looking for scale plate stuff. You know, ships and the like. And stations, rather, not ships. Although, if I found a ship, well, they might not talk to me. I was gonna say, if I found a ship, I could ask, like, hey, where's your stations? But they would probably not tell me anything. They're not exactly a friendly lot.
Unknown station. Vulture. Sentinel.
That also means we're going to be ignoring the cease and desist for a while. Just because it's not high up on the priority of things to do. There's a lot of other quests that are more pressing. Okay, I'm going to go to Nopilios so that I don't have to just guess where scale plate stuff is.
Autopilot engaged.
Because I was right. Actually, I think there is a station here.
Entering
Their
system.
pirate base.
Grand exchange.
While I'm passing through here, I can also look for juicy raid targets, because I could always take a pause in my day to raid someone, but I don't see any at the moment. Nope. Some Zyarth stuff, but we don't necessarily need to go after Zyarth if scale plate's going to be like our raid benefactor. I should just charge him a tariff tax. I mean, I could when I own a sector. Sector ownership can be something I work towards eventually. Do I have any satellites? No, I have no civilian deployables. Got it. Once I have a little bit more money, I'll buy a bunch of satellites and start satelliting up the areas around where I live, so that I can easily headhunt pirates. I'll be a freebooter. Alright, taking a look at my trade ships. How are they doing? Why did the Envoy leave beta group? Oh, no, it didn't. Okay, so one's heading to advanced electronics, the other to refined goods. I'm assuming because refined goods sells energy cells, and yes, it does. So they are buying exactly what they need for teleportation. So teleportation is broken up into 1, 2, 3, 4, technically 5, we don't see the 5th, ranges. Teleportation 1 is like teleporting within the system. Range 2 is within 3 systems. Range 3 or 2 is within 5, and then 3 is within the entire gate network. And that allows me to just like zip around, jumping from any player-owned anything to another player-owned anything, which is pretty incredible.
Entering system.
Very powerful tool.
Nobilious fortune.
Another thing I might want to do. What ship is this? Queen's raiding party? I don't care. Another thing I was considering doing is to add trade goods onto my own ship. You know, just like fill my cargo hold with something relatively expensive so that pirates are attracted to me. Because that's another thing that you can do, is make yourself look like a target for piracy, and then they'll ask you to like drop your bounty. And you can be like, ha ha ha, just kidding, I'm here to kill you. So rip you,
Entering
win me.
Nobilious fortune 2.
You know, I'm actually going to hop back to Nobilious Fortune 1 and find the stations there.
Nobilious fortune 6.
Marking out where the scale plate stations are is also going to be really helpful for raiding, because their trade ships are juicy targets often when they're full of trade goods, and hitting them is going to be good for us. So I'll use my long-range scanner. Is there a bounty system? Yes, sort of. It depends on the systems that you're in, but yeah, you can easily be paid bounties. Okay, so that's probably a station in there. So perfect. There it is.
Station.
So the way the bounty system works is if you have a... So there's just like a general, if you kill an enemy of a faction... So like if I'm in parented space and I kill any of these hostilities, they'll pay me for it, and if I have a police license, they'll pay me more, essentially. Yep, the Space Weed Farm is indeed owned by Scaleplate. Perfect.
Minotaur Raider.
And this Minotaur Raider is also Scaleplate. So, let's look. Let's look for data leaks. So this little like static icon indicates, and I kind of have a hard time using it, but it indicates the direction of the leak. So if the static is mostly in the center, it's in front of you. If it's mostly left or right, it's on the sides. And I can tell you if there's a leak nearby. I do struggle a little bit in trying to, like, find... Oh, yeah, here it is. Find the leak, even when I know it's around. But there we go. There's our leak to upload our worm.
This is Dal. We're getting data from the worm program. Good work. Now get out of there safely.
I'm not too worried about getting out of there safely. They can fight me. I don't care. In fact, they will fight me. I demand it.
Looks like you've got some scale plate ships after you.
Alright, they want to fight. I'm just going to drag them a little away from the space weed farm. And
Falcon, Sentinel.
make sure my turrets are attacking, whatever. Any enemy works. Granted, these turrets are mostly, like, anti-large ship turrets, so they're not going to be all that accurate in shooting small things. I doubt they'll come into play at all. But that's fine.
Is that the best you can do? That is silly.
Whoa! They cooked through my, shields real fast. I forgot how suck tier 1 shields are. It's alright. Oop, come on. Steering mode.
Buzzard, Sentinel.
Tier 1 everything. I'm gonna have a bit of a repair bill at the end of this, but that's okay.
Danger.
The other thing that you could do, if you're wondering, is to use police forces. Okay, so now we have cargo drones at our HQ, at our home. You can also use, so I'm going to leave the area so that my shields regenerate so I don't have such a giant repair bill. But you can also use police forces in order to aid you in defeating, you know, whoever is attacking you. Getting better weapons, obviously, is going to be a primary concern for this ship. So earning money so that I can buy tier 2 stuff is going to be high up on the list.
We've had another freighter targeted by scale plate. No casualties this time, but they're limping home. I hope you found something we can use to make them think twice.
It just so happens that we've gathered a wealth of information on the logistics, thanks to the new recruit. We're prepared to do some harassment of our own.
I'm sick of us being toyed with. I leave it up to you, Dal. Just don't go overboard.
Don't go overboard, huh?
New mission. I already have something in mind. I'll send you information on the materials.
Apparently the hull's already 100%.
Docking aborted. Nemesis, Vanguard.
Alright, so those ships should still be following me. And then we're going to need to obtain some more things that Dal asked for.
Sentinel.
Looked like the Envoy was way better? It's because the Envoy is... It's different, not better. The two ships serve very different purposes. Maybe is the right way to say it. And, the Envoy has weapons that cut through shields. But when it comes to boarding, that's really helpful. When it comes to, like, large-scale combat, that's often not super helpful.
Falcon, Sentinel.
It's mostly just because this has tier 1 shields. Or tier 1 weapons, rather. So they are just
Danger.
bad.
This is not good.
Buzzard, Sentinel.
Well, I'll put a little skin in the game. I don't mind a little hull damage to get the job done.
Danger.
Well, that's too much hull damage. Alright, let's scoot. Then we can also clean up whatever, like, stuff they dropped at the end of this.
Buzzard, Sentinel. Crane, E, Mineral. Buzzard, Sentinel.
Which is like micro gimbals and... Oh, basic weapon chamber. How is the research coming? Weird time to ask. Barely any energy cells delivered so far. Which is unfortunate, but that's the way it is.
Buzzard. Sentinel.
I will not let you get away with this. Help.
No help. Alright, let's try to hoover this stuff up before the... Oh! The backup already showed up. I'm using Seda to just accelerate time to regenerate my shields, while I use the station to block line of sight. Oop, or bumper cars, you know, just... I don't really want to be shooting with the station in the background, though, because I'm just likely to hit the station, so let's drag this fight away from the station.
You are not so good as you think.
I thought this fight would be a little bit easier, but I underestimated how bad my guns are at the moment.
Danger.
But they're dead. And I'm not. So let's retrieve their loot. And then start collecting the materials that Dal told us to go grab.
Autopilot engaged.
Thank you for tuning in to X4 Foundation's Rogue Pirate, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow pirates.